This is another episode of Random Assignments, and I'm here with Mariah Wilder from the United States of America, who will talk about herself and what she does. So Mariah, tell us about who you are, basically, like your childhood and how you came to Kenya.
Sure, okay. That's a lot. Who am I? Well, I was raised in Minnesota, and I am a family of 5. I grew up in the suburbs, and really blessed to have a really fun childhood. Okay, so highlights were I went camping a lot with my family. Probably some of my favorite memories. Also, another unique thing about my childhood is that I was homeschooled.
Yeah?
And so were both of my siblings. Really fun memories from that too. I have a really musical family. So I love to sing, and that's actually something I'm doing here at Desar. I'm in the boy band.
Yes.
How I came to Kenya, I lived in a multicultural dorm at my university the last couple of years, and we had an exchange student from Desar actually, and she and I became really good friends. And that was my first time hearing of Desar. She said, "You should come to my campus," and at first I was like, that's awesome, but it's totally impossible. The more I thought of it, the more it became like a dream. And so, yeah, I just started planning for it. Which one first?
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, 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 it shine, shine, it shine, let it shine, shine, it shine, shine, it shine.
So yeah, you planned for it, and the day came, got on the plane.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
Crazy. Really crazy. So excited.
Yeah.
As in, for the last maybe month of my summer before coming here, I was zoned out. Like, I couldn't concentrate on work. I couldn't concentrate on anything. I was so excited to come here. So getting on the airplane, I wasn't even nervous. I was just pumped.
Yeah.
And my aunt and uncle live here in Nairobi, so that allowed me to not have anxiety.
Okay. Yeah, you talked about work. What work were you doing during summer?
Sure. A couple things. I have worked in retail for the last few years, maybe 4 years.
Yeah.
And also I have been self-employed as a photographer since 2006.
Okay.
So both of those combined.
Yeah. Like you said, photography, self-employment. So tell us about that. How did that start out?
Sure. My inspiration for photography started when I traveled to Europe.
Okay.
When I was 14. That was in 2005. I just was so enthralled by a different culture and seeing new buildings and people and everything, and I just wanted to document it.
Okay.
And from there, I just started taking people's senior portraits, like when they graduated from high school, and then just by word of mouth, it spread and started into a business.
Okay.
So I primarily do portrait photography. That's my passion. I don't know how else to explain it. I just love it.
Okay. Okay. Are you self-taught, or did you have to go to school for that?
I did go to school for 2 years at a technical college near my place. And I didn't get a degree or diploma or anything because actually at the time I thought it would just be a hobby. And in fact, when I took those classes, I stopped because the next class I was going to have to take was the business class, and I didn't want anything to do with business. So I stopped, and I thought I would do something else with my life. But then as I went on, God just kept confirming that passion in me. I couldn't escape it. When I started to study other things, like I was first studying psychology, and then now at my university I'm an urban studies major. No matter what I've been studying, I'm always thinking about photography, going back to photography and realizing, okay, it's photography. So.
Yeah. So how have you kept your passion going on?
Sure.
Then?
That's a great question. Actually, I think that some of the most, whenever I had experienced culture shock, it had to do with being a photographer and my role as a photographer and my boundaries as a photographer. Since I'm coming into a different culture, I feel like I'm invading, and so like when I'm walking down the street and I really want to take a picture of something, I am always like, I would get so tense at first, like, oh my gosh, is it okay to do this? Like, what am I supposed to do as a photographer? And I think those feelings actually was confirming in me, like, wow, a huge part of my identity is a photographer if like I'm thinking about everything as my role as a photographer. And so at first it was really difficult, and I felt like I was suppressing a huge part of me by, okay, I'm not going to take a picture in this scenario. And then as I adjusted more to the culture, I started getting more open and getting a sense for how people on the street interact with me, how people on my campus respond to me. And right now, I guess I'm kind of in the process of trying to put my name out there. I am excited when people start to recognize that I'm a photographer. Like, some of the people in the photography classes have come to me for out-of-class training. A couple people have hired me now for actual paid jobs, which is exciting. And then I'm also part of the photography club on campus. And just recognizing that I'm spending a lot more time on photography than I am on my own assignments, which is a tough balance because I'm always wanting to take people's portraits or do like a photojournalism series on a certain road or a certain like toy market in Gong Road I did at the beginning of the year. So yeah.
So here in Kenya, if you hold a camera in the public streets, everyone hassles you. Like, do you get the same thing?
Yeah.
What do you say? Like, for us, it's like, you should pay for that. So we're like, it's just, I'm a student.
Actually, I've had the same response. Either people have asked me to pay, or one guy stuck out his middle finger, and I just walked away. It's been a variety. Then I realized maybe I should just ask people and be more bold with just going up to them and asking. So when I was in Toy, I just went up to some ladies in their shop and I just asked them, and they were really excited. And then the ladies next door wanted me to take their picture. So people have a different reaction. The people who are most receptive, though, to having their picture taken are children. And so I think that's where I have found the most joy, is when I'm hanging out with kids, because I don't have to worry about, okay, is it appropriate for me to take their picture? They're just like, take my picture, take my picture. They're just so excited. So I just tell them, okay, dance, have fun, you know, and then I just snap some shots.
Cool. Tell us about your travels, like the places you've been. You could summarize, and the most unique thing about them.
Okay, sure. This is my first time being in Africa. I've always wanted to come here. I've also traveled Europe. I went to 9 countries within 7 weeks for a missions trip when I was 14. Probably my favorite of those places was Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Probably whenever I pick a favorite, it's mostly based on aesthetics. Just because that's, as a photographer, that's how I think. So aesthetically, it was the most beautiful and exciting to me. And I dream of traveling the entire world. So especially as a photographer, I want to document different cultures, and especially how cultures do weddings and everything. So if I could go anywhere in the world, it would be India. That's where I want to go next. So yeah.
You talked about the countries you've been to. How about Kenya? What's the most unique thing about Kenya so far?
Unique thing about Kenya. Okay, maybe the thing that excites me the most. Again, aesthetically, I freaked out about the colors when I first came. And okay, if I can maybe talk about something a little deeper, some of the struggles as being a photographer. In the U.S., I've always been really attracted to things that are like broken and falling apart, like falling apart barns, and like as backdrops for portrait photography, or like alleyways that are grungy or whatever. I've always been attracted to those, and I've never questioned it. And when I first came here, there were so many opportunities, a lot of that, but my main struggle was, okay, now it's associated with something negative, like perhaps poverty, and maybe I shouldn't think that's beautiful. And so I felt a lot of inner conflict, like, okay, I'm really excited, there's this tin house or shop, and to me, like, my initial reaction is, it's awesome! It has cool texture, it has bright colors, and then I would suppress myself and be like, it's not okay, Mariah, to think that that's beautiful.
So, Mariah, we'll diverge from your profession to your personal life. So, I'll just ask you straight up. Are you single? Are you dating? And how does your career and your studies and your travel affect that? Like your life, your personal relationships, and also with your family?
Sure. I am single. But it's by choice, so it's not because of studies or...
It's not because you travel a lot or anything? Okay.
And it's not a choice to be single, it's just natural.
Happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
And about my family, this is the longest time I've ever been away from home, but I'm actually doing really well about it. As in, I barely... Okay, I miss my family, but I don't really miss, like, my home, or like my house, or the lifestyle, or the routine, or anything back home very much. I think just because everything here is so new, it's keeping me like distracted and excited the whole time.
Last thing. How do you expect? Okay, last two things. How do you plan to use your talent as a photographer in the future? Are you going to merge it with what you're studying, or are you just going to take that solo?
Sure. Okay, that's actually like the main thing I've been processing when I'm here in Kenya, is trying to figure out how I am going to merge the two. In the US, I'm an urban studies major, and here it's most similar to community development. So that's usually what I tell people. So I feel like I have a couple like options. Either I could teach photography to people of lower income as a way of like empowering them financially so they can start their own business, or to do photojournalism and like documenting social injustice to raise awareness. But sometimes that doesn't even feel like it makes enough of a difference, because there are lots of people creating awareness. But it's like I want to do something more.
Up to?
Yes, there's a certain organization, actually, a photography organization. It's called NOOR, N-O-O-R, Photography. They're a group of, I think, 8 or 9 photographers who travel. They each take a different part of the world, actually, and are staying up to date on social and political issues, and they document them. And then they tell the stories of individual people that are in those scenarios. And so it's very relational, but also very like a global perspective, which I really respect. So that's always been something that I've considered. I would love to be part of that organization.
That's all we had for this week, so thank you for joining us. Goodbye.